This is the second half of the 8-6 video. I wanted to put together a problem that I thought would be pretty tough and show some really weird things that would happen. And so I've made one up here that I want to try. So when I go to solve this, I want to try and get the denominators to cancel out. What I notice about the right side is I think I can factor that. So I'm just going to rewrite the left. And when I look at this side, I think to myself, oh yeah, this is the kind where it's like adding to 0 in the middle, but then multiplying to that -1. This is what we called that difference of squares. The bottom is x plus 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong variable. Z plus 1 and z minus 1. And again, if you're trying to do this by hand, you're multiplying by the constant, or to the constant, which is the number without the variable. And this time, since it doesn't have that z, that must have been a 0 for that to cancel, right? And we figure out that it's 1 and -1. So what this allows me to see, so first of all, sometimes you have to factor. Second of all, what this allows me to see is I'm not going to have to multiply by all 3 denominators. I think I can just multiply by z plus 1, everything. Because that will allow the z plus 1s to cancel. And next, I think if I do a z minus 1, okay, and things get kind of messy because you have a lot to write here. Let's squeeze into the space. This first z minus 1 doesn't cancel because there's not a z minus 1 on bottom, but this one does, and this one does. So if I write down what's left over, I have 2 parentheses z minus 1, minus 1 parentheses z plus 1 equals, well, it just equals -2. Okay, so then I'm going to distribute, and I get 2z minus 2 minus z. I'm distributing in that -1, right? It'd be -z and -1. Okay, and so now I have z minus 3 equals -2 because I'm combining like terms here. So if I add 3, z equals 1. Okay? So that was kind of the weird thing on that one. Now there's one more catch to this. Always, in your head, or write it down if you need to, take your answer and go ahead and plug it into kind of the original equation. I'm mostly checking to see if this is going to give me an impossible answer. So for example, if I plug it into the first one, just right here, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, that's okay. But now if I plug it into this one, 1 minus 1 is 0, and now I have 1 divided by 0, which is impossible. And the same thing happens on this side. 1 squared is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So actually, this time, that doesn't work, and the answer is no solution. Two C is another one I thought about doing. Basically, after you solve it, you're going to get down, you do a whole bunch of multiplication. You're going to get down to 10n squared minus 43n. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I wrote that down wrong. 10n squared minus 25n minus 15 equals 0. And you're going to have to either factor or use the quadratic formula to figure out what the answer is. Remember, quadratic formula is the negative boy who couldn't decide if he wanted to go to a totally radical party. Be there, be squared. He didn't go, so he missed out on 4 awesome cupcakes, and the party was over at 2 a.m. Okay? Plug that in, and then you would get your 2 answers. Plug those back in, just double check they work.